Okay, we continue this MCQ by solving the question number 5. So, in question number 5, you are given two functions. One is the logarithm of x squared minus 4, and the other one is g of x equal to logarithm of x minus 2 plus logarithm of x plus 2. Okay, let me take a new page. So, you have f of x, that's the logarithm of x squared minus 4, and the g of x, that's the logarithm of x minus 2 plus logarithm of x plus 2. Okay, then let's say the two functions coincide. Take the same value for x greater than 2, have both domain 2 plus infinity. Okay, look, something I want you to you know the rule saying that the logarithm of a times b is the logarithm of a plus the logarithm of b. You know this? Okay. So basically this rule can pay attention because why they are asking this question. We have here logarithm of x squared minus 4, right? That you can basically write like logarithm of x minus 2 multiplied by x plus 2. Yes or not? But now it's the logarithm of a times b, so it's the logarithm of x minus 2 plus the logarithm of x plus 2, right? But does it mean that this function is equal to this? Can I claim that the two functions are equals? The answer is they have the same expression, okay, but they are not equal, for the simple reason that, let me tell you what are the conditions for two functions to be equal. Okay, so it's important to understand it because a student used to make mistakes. So suppose that I have a function f and I have another function g. Okay, for them to be equal, there are two conditions. The first condition is that the domain of f should be equal to the domain of g. Is that clear? And the second condition is that f of x should exactly be equal, the same thing as g of x, for all x in the domain. Is that clear? If you go back here, yes, maybe this function and this one meets the condition of the expression. So f of x is the same as g of x. Yes or not? I mean, this function and this one, they meet this condition here, that f of x is equal to g of x. But do they mean this? Do they meet this one? Is the yes or not? In the first case, so the first function is log of x squared minus 4, right? The condition for the domain will be x squared minus 4 greater than 0. But how do I know that the rules for this stuff are minus 2 and 2, right? So if I plot it with minus 2, and I should draw the parabola like this. Yes or not? So I am searching for at which point it is positive. So you can see that the domain is where this stuff is positive. The condition was x squared minus 4 greater than 0. So the domain of f is from minus infinity till minus 2 union 2 plus infinity. Now if you find the domain of g, the g function that is here, the g function, how many logarithms you have in the g function? 2 logarithms, right? So you have to set two conditions. So you have x minus 2 greater than 0 and x plus 2 greater than 0. So x plus 2 greater than 0 and x minus 2 greater than 0. This will lead to x greater than minus 2 and x greater than 2, right? But the two conditions, so one condition is saying this is minus 2, and no, this is minus 2 and this is 2. So one condition is saying x greater than minus 2, like this. The other is saying x greater than 2, like this, right? So the domain of G is this one, this part where the two conditions meet. Yes or not? So it is from 2 so plus infinity. But this domain is not the same as the domain of f, right? Turn it. No. We don't solve for it. We never solve a parabola like this. So you cannot solve. The question of my student is, if we have x squared minus 4 greater than 0, we don't. Is it possible to do x squared greater than 4? No, it doesn't work like this. In one of my so yes, but x squared greater than 4 will give you x greater or equal than plus or minus root 4. That you means plus or minus 2. But I'm just saying that what means that x is greater than x greater than plus or minus 2 will mean x greater than plus 2 and x greater than minus 2, but it's not the case here. When you are solving, I repeat, if you are solving an inequality, please bring the stuff to one side and study the sign. Okay, if you are solving a very simple inequality, you don't need to do this. But if you are solving already like polynomial or you have an equality with a polynomial of order 2, you cannot just solve it like you solve it with basic techniques. Okay? Okay. So if I understand in the good way the question of my student, he's asking me how do I know that the parabola should look like this. First of all, how do you know if an inequality, if you are solving for a parabola second degree, right? So ax squared plus bx plus c. If the equation has this structure, it is. Yes or not? Then, if you have this, if you have ax squared plus bx plus c greater than smaller than 0, what will happen? It will happen that if you want to solve it, you will find the two solutions. So x1 and the two roots, I mean, if there are any. Okay, then the parabola has only two possibilities. Or it is like this if a is in the case where a is smaller than z. So if this a here, that, or it is like, so when you know the roots, you know, or it is like this. So this will be x1 and this is x2, or it is like this. Is that clear? There are only these two possibilities. In my case, what did I have? I had x squared minus 4 that I wanted to solve greater than 0, right? So my roots are easy to find. The roots here are minus 2 and 2. Yes or not? And the parabola, this my a here is 1, so it is positive, right? So the parabola look upward like this. I have done. Is that clear now? Okay. So the two functions do not have the same domain. So I cannot say that they coincide. Okay. Despite they have the same expression, they do not have the same domain. So I cannot say that they coincide. So coincide is false. They take the same value for x greater than 2. Yes, this is true, because if you take them from x greater than 2 only, there will be the same function. Yes or not? Yes. Have both domain which is this, no, false. Has domain which is this, false, right? When the domain of one is the one up, and are different expression for the same function. No, they are not the same function. To be the same function, there you should be I repeat, talking about the same function, you should have the same domain. Is that clear? Okay, nice. Okay, we now solve MCQ number 6. In MCQ number 6, the same situation is addressed, okay, because you have f of x equal to exponential of 2 ln of x. Okay, remember that you can always write exponential of 2 ln of x like exponential of ln of x square, right, using the property of the logarithm. But exponential of ln of x square is x square. So now I think you already understood that we want to talk about x square and the function exponential of 2 ln of x. First of all, so you want to understand when they are equal. Once more, we have two stuff that have the same expression. Yes or not? You can say x square, or you can do like this. But what is the domain of this function? The domain of this one. Yes, in fact. So the domain of this function, the condition will be x greater than 0, right? So the domain of this guy is just from 0 to plus infinity. But what is the domain of this function? Yes, I can do x square anytime I want, but this thing I can do it only when x is positive, right? So despite they are the same function, they both give x squared, but the domain of this guy here, the domain of this guy here is R, whereas the domain of this guy here is 0 to plus. So they cannot be considered to be the same function. But when they both exist, they coincide. Yes or not? But where do they both exist? This guy exists for all x to R. This guy exists only when x is greater than 0. So they coincide only when x is greater than 0. Okay? So A is correct, right? They coincide for all x in R. For all, the function coincides to gx, to 2x. I don't know how you can manage that exponential to get 2x. Okay, and then they're saying that this corresponds to exponential of logarithm of x squared for all x in R. No, because even if you write exponential of 2 log x, you know that it is exponential of logarithm of x squared. But here the domain will be x strictly greater than 0, right? But here the domain will be x squared greater than 0. But x squared greater than 0 just means that x not equal to 0. And so to the one side you will get x greater than 0, and to the other side you will get x not equal to 0. This will means that they will not have the same domain. So D is false. Okay? Is there any question? And the same you cannot E is obviously false. Okay, doubts? Okay, next video we focus on the quiz number 7. Thank you for your